get going on YouTube's. Worthy or Akers, I lean towards Akers. Diggs or Ayuk, I'm going to be leaning more towards the Diggs side. Carr, Richardson, going to be leaning more towards the Richardson side. Let's see here. Jacobs or Hubbard, I'm going to be leaning more towards. I kind of want to go towards Hubbard this week, honestly. I don't like the spot for Josh Jacobs at all. Are you being insane? Purdy or Goff this week, I'm going to be leaning more towards the Goff side. Ford or Steele, going to be leaning more towards the Steele side. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get Jackson's team review thing up here.
Yep. Let's see what hat Grant has on today.
Jackson and Grant will put the Discord link in the bio so people can join there for free. And we'll go ahead and get ripping right into this here. And have ourselves a bit of time. Make sure my audio is added in.
Bobby, start Reed over Pittman.
Of course.
Season when Love is back. I would say yes. Should I trade Hurts and Kmet for AR and Ferg? Probably not. Trade Monty and Keenan Allen for Garrett Wilson and Likely. What do you think about that, Grant?
Sorry, I'm getting this link. Monty and Keenan Allen for Garrett Wilson and Likely. I mean, it just depends. If you have like a bunch of running backs and you need a receiver, I think Garrett Wilson will be better. But I think Keenan Allen and Likely are kind of nothing assets.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of your league.
I would agree.
Let's get ripping into these teams here. I'm sure we're going to have a few more pop in as we go through this.
Cool.
So let's see here. HUD's wanting some trade advice or roster adjustments. I'm looking to trade DJ Moore for Najee. Would not do that. Jordan Mason, Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, Rashee Rice, Kincaid, Godwin. Then you have Akers sitting on the bench, Irving, Kirk, Mooney, DJ Moore. Yeah, I'd rock with what you got, man. If anything, like try to sell high on Akers. Like that's the only thing I would potentially consider doing. Jordan Mason's likely going to be the guy until week 16 or not week 16, week 12 or so. So I want to be taking as many shots there as possible. I like this team a lot. I really wouldn't be moving off of DJ Moore for Najee. Better days ahead, I imagine, for DJ Moore in this offense. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Najee isn't somebody I would be trading him for anyways. I do believe that Cam Akers will be starting this week. Let's see here. On to the next squad, Jay in a 7-man.
Should this guy trade CeeDee Lamb and Aaron Jones for Neighbors and Kyron Williams? I
feel
would
like
probably.
I feel like I want that side.
Pretty good.
Let's see here. Baker Mayfield, Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson, Ayuk, Rice, Goddard, Chuba. Yeah, I don't have any advice for teams like this. Like, your team is beyond stacked, my friend, because we're looking at your bench as well. And, like, yeah, there's not much to be said here. Congratulations, Jay. I don't have much to say. Really strong team. Let's see here. All right. Shy Guy, can you help me pick one for your flex? Not sure if you should keep Jennings in. 12-man Happy Bear, you're currently 3-0. Thanks in advance. Right on. Awesome to hear that. Let's see here. Lamar Jackson, Rashee Rice, Garrett Wilson, Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mason, Kincaid, James Cook. Really strong squad. And then flex, you want to know about Jennings versus Odunze, Coleman, Ridley, BTJ, Leggett, Yoshivas, and Brooks. Jennings is a fine option. I don't mind taking shots on other players here. Like BTJ is a bit enticing to me. That's somebody I personally would start over him, but I can understand if you want to be staying. I like BTJ in this matchup. Moving on to the next one. Lamar Jackson, David Montgomery, Bijan Robinson. Let's see here. Marvin Harrison Jr., DK Metcalf, Mark Andrews, Garrett Wilson, Braylon Allen, Jack Charbonnet, Matt McConkey, Adonai Mitchell, Sutton, Walker, J-Mo. All right, let's see here. So running backs are more than fine. Receivers are more than cracked. Like, the only theoretical thing we need to work on is your tight end. And we'll see if that Mark Andrews can actually become a thing again. That is the big question mark.
You have Hawkinson in the wings,
yeah,
waiting to return in like 3 or 4 weeks too, so that helps.
Yeah. Jackson, you want to walk them through the Discord real quick?
Yep, the link to get into our Discord should be in the YouTube chat. Once you click on that link, all you have to do is follow the steps on screen, DM me at Jamario Moon, and then I'll give you some instructions on how to get your team on today's review session.
He's asking, how does he DM you?
Oh, you just go, you could just search my name in the find or start a conversation. You can search the server for me, either way.
Lovely.
Awesome. All right. Now let's go back into this squad here. Yeah, this is another really, really strong squad. I like it. Not really much to be said. Like, you just theoretically need a better tight end. Like Grant pointed out, you have Hawkinson in the wings. He'll be back soon enough. And Mark Andrews, hopefully he gets involved in more routes. Like I'd imagine he does. So we will see how it goes. Moving forward, we got Dierte asking, mainly concerned on who to start sit this week. Last 2 weeks in a row, so you need the dub. Right on. This feels like a strong squad. You got both sides of the ball and the Mason, Ramondre there. I would personally try to trade off of Ramondre if I could, just because I think that even though he leads running backs in usage, you're going to have better situations to be taking more shots on with Ramondre specifically. Like, it's just not ideal to me. I think there's better places. Jordan Mason's fine for the short term. You have McCaffrey on the opposite side of that. But this is technically how I would start it. Like, I wouldn't be sitting any of the players that you have in your current starting lineup. This should be a strong team. But yeah, I would be trying to upgrade your running backs if anything. But that's how I would go about it. Let's see. That's your team. More start sit this week. Yeah, this is how you should be starting it this week. Like, if anything, maybe Laporta over Ertz. But that would be about it. I like Diggs. I like Neighbors. I like Johnson. Like, this is a solid squad to start the week with. Like, you're not going to be like, the only question one is like Laporta versus Ertz, and that's
yeah. It says he wants some start sit this week. I think you have everyone in the right spot. The only thing would be maybe starting a Jawan or a Shakir over Diggs this weekend, but that feels a little sketchy.
I'd keep Diggs in this matchup. Like,
I would just love it for him, but I mean, I guess if Tank is out too, that will help it monitor that situation for sure.
I don't think Tank's
and then Ramondre, I mean, he had one bad week, but you probably still have to give him the nod over Bucky Irving, but that's a good piece to have there in the future to survive until McCaffrey's back, and obviously Jordan Mason works. So
no problem, Rob. All right, next squad here. Josh Allen, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Achon, Kyron, Ferguson, Stevenson, DJ Moore, BTJ, not BTJ, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers. I would. All right. I mean, this is fine for usage. Need to monitor Mike Evans' situation. I don't mind subbing in DJ Moore. I would honestly prefer to have DJ Moore over Ramondre Stevenson, but Ramondre's theoretically more guaranteed points. But that's just me. I'm curious to see how Snoop Huntley does with Achane, and then the rest of the plays are more than fine. Really strong squad overall. Not much to
Would
be
you
said.
trade Komet and Deontay for Tank Dell and Brock Bowers?
No, I want Deontay. Let's see here. Big Body Bry. You're looking for a D to stream this week. Also, should you drop anyone for Sam Darnold? No, you have two extremely mobile quarterbacks. Defense to stream. I would consider fading the Saints potentially. Like, that's really about it. That's kind of weird to me this week. Don't have any unique defensive leans that aren't just really consensus based at this point. Yeah. And I don't even know where you start defense in this. But
GD Law, click the link I just sent in, and it should give you a direct you to the Discord. You can follow the instructions on screen.
you want Jets? I'll post my defense video later today as well. But yeah, it's rather chalky for the most part. In theory, you could want either side of the Browns or Raiders, depending on which team you like less. But yeah, that's really about it. I'm trying to think any spot that might be unique. Like, if no Jordan Love, Vikings should be great. But I imagine they're expensive.
I think the Vikings are must play in all weeks now. I mean, you saw what they did against two offenses that you would normally be scared of and think was a bad matchup, and they put up double-digit points against both of them. I feel like the Chiefs' defense is on waivers in a decent amount of leagues. I think they should be in for a great spot, especially considering Justin Herbert is doubtful.
Joe Alt's banged up too.
Yeah, and Rashawn Slater as well. So it should be kind of a field day there. Looking at the rest of them, I mean, the Jets are a solid play, I think. Yeah, Bengals-Panthers game, I would stay away from both.
I picked up the Texans in one of my leagues today.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout either. I mean, Niners defense should play well. Some good options. Titans is obviously one that a lot of people are high on. Makes sense.
All right. But with that said, this is a really strong squad. I think you know that as well. We're not big fans of Derrick Henry, but those are plenty of defenses you can look at this week that are rather strong. Vikes is our lead between them and the Dolphins this week. All right. We have Noah and a 12-man non-PPR. Ooh, fun. I would put Roschon in over Bucky. I don't think they're going to push the hamstring here. That's just how I play it. I'd rather try to get ahead on the Roschon deal because that seems to be legit. Bijan, Mike Evans, Ridley, anyone can use this. I mean, it's spicy, but I would put Deontay over Ridley there and then move to flex. I would generally consider BTJ this week. I think he's a lot of fun. Like, very similar plays to me, but I like BTJ more. I think he could go crazy. But Ridley, I think, is the technical one. Outside of that, though, I like it a lot. Not much to be said here. Really strong team. I don't think that Nick Chubb's going to be anything when he comes back, and I don't think Pacheco's coming back. But overall, strong team. Fun upside. Not much to really be said there. Non-PPR is a little harder for me to mentally grasp, mainly because I'm used to PPR. But
Mike Evans is a dude that's good for that. So far, Pitts has been pretty good for that. Deontay's value definitely diminishes a little, but a lot of your bench running backs, Pacheco is hurt and is obviously a guy that's good in non-PPR, and then Brian Thomas as well, big play guy. So
big play.
Did a good job.
Fun squad though. Let's see here. Worst case scenario, you can always tier off of someone like Lamar Jackson here to build up your other positions. Just always remember that. That's how we would advise doing that if you were to. All right, let's see.
Yeah, and you already have Baker too, so you have a serviceable guy there.
Moving on to the next squad, we got Rami here, Josh Allen, Rice, Adams, Bijan, Etienne, McBride, Neighbors, Dobbins, Pittman, Wright, Singletary, Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard, T.J. Hawkinson. Yeah, really strong squad. Not much to be said here, man. Like it a lot. You just probably need somebody to fill in for tight end this weekend is about it. So in theory, how would you play this actually? If you are looking to stream a tight end, how are you going to play that with this squad?
You drop Jalen Wright, probably.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who to start or say if possible. Yeah, I mean, this is probably how I would start it. If anything, you could do like Deontay over Adams just because it's going to be a much higher scoring game environment. That's
What do you
probably
think
what
about Chuba over ETN?
I was thinking of that as well.
I like Singletary over ETN, actually. I think Singletary is a great matchup tonight. We'll discuss that later in the tiers video, but I do think that he's in a great spot.
He's in a good spot for sure. Definitely fun. Just weird because it's like projections I think will put towards ETN being really good. But like I do think that like Singletary is in a much better spot because it's like what does Bigsby and the other running backs potentially do to take away? That's the question. I'd go with Rashad over Braylon. I wouldn't think about it. Let's see here. Jalen Hurts or Darnold? I think I might want to go towards Darnold, honestly. I have a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts right now. Like he's going to have like no receiving weapons. Like what is that man going to do?
But does that mean that he runs the ball more?
That is the bigger question because I think that is a very fair point. All right. Jalen Hurts, James Cook, or does he just get sacked a lot? That is another question.
That's also possible because Lane Johnson, I believe, is out. I haven't seen a final. Yeah.
All right. I would consider going with, I think Legette's honestly one of the more fun flex plays this week. Like, I feel like he's just going to be an interesting one. Got to look into it more now. Jalen Hurt, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Deontay Johnson, Amon St. Brown, Kincaid, ETN, the bench. Yeah, this is how we would start the squad. You can't really sell anything here. If anything, like I would honestly consider selling high potentially on Hurts, but like you don't need to do that considering you get AJ Brown and
your mic's cutting out a little.
Appreciate that. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith will ultimately be back, so I wouldn't really worry about it. So I'd still can hold that.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
gonna be a couple weeks, but.
Your running backs are fine. James Cook is much better than I expected. ETN and Ramondre always project well. It's just more of like, will they hold that projection? J.K. Dobbins is entirely game script dependent. That's why we were trying to tell you guys to sell him after the first 2 weeks. But is still not a bad play to have stashed on your bench based off of his usage. Waddle will hopefully have better days ahead of him, but we will see. So, yeah, like the squad overall, though. Really, really strong here, top A, and 10-man PPR especially. Better days ahead will be for Kincaid. All right. Lamar and an 8-man over EJ. Achon, Kyron, Nico, Rice, McBride, Neighbors, Chuba, Jennings, Kelsey, Mason, DJ Moore. I see why this is an 8-man. Yeah, really strong squad here. You're just going to be starting Kelsey over McBride this week. Yeah, beyond stacked with this squad, man. This is this is the definition of an 8-man. Let's see here. All right, J-Pat, here's your team, 2-1, full PPR. All right, let's look at it. Yeah, really strong. Like, nothing to be said here. Like, this should be a winning squad for this weekend. I'm surprised you're 2-1. I would expect this to be 3-0, honestly. But yeah, really strong. If anything, you can technically sell high on Jordan Mason, but he's going to be holding good value for probably about the next 6 weeks or so. So it's not really even a sell high. It's kind of just a hold and keep using the 49ers main running back here. That's going to be getting ridiculous usage. We love that. I will say probably one of my favorite buy lows right now is Deebo Samuel, because if McCaffrey is going to be out for a little while, right, I want to be taking as many swings on the usage that I could be getting for a buck. Let's see here. Alrighty. Where are we? On to the next team here. Team number 13. Abu. All right. Joe Burrow, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Etienne, like the mini stack, Carson Steele, Cole Kmet, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins. Let's see here. I mean, you should technically be going towards Amari, but like they're also missing a lot of offensive linemen. That's my concern with the Amari Cooper one. Like, it's part of why the Raiders are a very interesting defense this week because I could see him getting a lot of sacks. So it's like I kind of like T. Higgins' better scoring environment, but like that's just more of, I guess, being nitpicky. But usage is definitely there for Amari Cooper. This is a fine squad. I would just encourage selling out of Amari would be my only thing. Nothing really too crazy there. I would be trying to upgrade your running back as well, of course, but I see you got hit with Andre bug, and yeah, Kupp and McCaffrey aren't really helping it right now. So hopefully they come back. But at the end of the day, if you really need to make some pivots, we can always try to sell out of them for cheaper and see what equity we can get back. Kupp is somebody you probably want to hold, but McCaffrey, you can probably send for pennies on the dollars. Let's see. This is you. You're 0-3. All right. Well, then, yeah, people aren't probably going to want Joe Burrow. I would stack him with T. Higgins this weekend. I think going with Steele and ETN is fine. This should be a good team for the weekend. But I would honestly fill out some offers for McCaffrey. See what you could get for him, because the person, like whoever's holding McCaffrey, is just holding a dead asset right now. It's one thing if you have a team that can field holding a McCaffrey. It's another if you can't. And right now, this squad really can't. You don't want to have to rely on Carson Steele and Etienne every single week for your running back points, right? So we would encourage you to try to pivot out of that. I think offering a combination of Amari Cooper and McCaffrey should be able to get you 2 high reward pieces back, especially after the big week that Amari Cooper just had. Swift and Zamir and wouldn't budge over that. Well, then I'd find somebody else, because they are morons and are just trying to be extremely cheap. I think that's the kindest way to put that. Let's see here. Alrighty. Jackson Grant, I want to walk them through on exactly how to get their team rated here real quick.
Yep, all you got to do is go into the YouTube chat. There you'll find a link to our Discord. Click on that link. Once you're in the server, just send me a DM like you see on the screen at Jamario Moon, and I'll be able to help you out.
Awesome. Alrighty. I like Godwin. All depends on who's healthy. Fun spot for him, though. Moving on to the next squad here. Nick in a 10-man PPR. Jaden Daniels, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Amon St. Brown, Rashee Rice, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mason, James Conner. You got Garbo on the bench, Jerome Ford, Matt McConkey, Scary Terry. I would be selling high on Alvin Kamara. I really would. I think I'm going to make a video on sell highs today as well, along with defenses. And he, I think, will be one of them. I don't like them losing their starting Pro Bowl center for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Not optimal. Jordan Mason, I don't know if that's got to be a bottom part of your team here, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. James Conner's fine. Your running back strength is really, really, really good, along with your receivers as well. Really strong 10-man PPR here. Not really much to be said. You can even hold on to Kamara if you're not concerned. But, yeah, really strong squad, man. Not much to be said. Congratulations. All righty. Jesus Christ. 10-man. As you can tell, you have one extra player right now because you had to take AJ out of IR. Can decide who to drop or pass on, flexing Singletary, and wait for AJ to be out. I see. You don't need Mooney. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, that's literally the first thing that sticks out. You don't need Darnell Mooney. Yeah, really strong squad here. CJ Stroud with correlation to Joe Mixon, Nico Collins. You're going to have to – so go ahead and put Devin Singletary in over Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon will not be playing this weekend. Scary Terry's fine. Ooh, correlation with CJ. That's a fun kind of duality to have there. I'd sell high on Ramondre for usage if I can, but that's just me. Who can you put in that extra flex, though, I think is what you're asking. Probably going to have to put in between Brian. I'd probably go with Brian Thomas and see if you can make just like an insane little game stack right there. You get Nico, but you also get a small bring back of Brian Thomas. It's supposed to be a higher scoring game. I like it. Our death right now. We talk about Jake Fergie, man. Jake Fergie's fun. I like it, Nick.
Yeah.
Like Fergie's going to be a lot of fun. I like him in tonight's matchup. We're going through our plays after this, which will be posted for you guys on this page. So, of course, you'll see that right away if you guys subscribe, and you'll have that access right before game tonight. But, yeah, Fergie and Tolbert are 2 guys that are sticking out to me in the matchups here that I think could be a lot of fun. So I will be playing around with those as well. But I like this squad a lot, man. There's a reason why you're 3-0. Great squad. All right, moving on to the next one here, Team 16. Everett added Brian Robinson with the first waiver somehow. 10-man PPR, you're 1-2 and looking for advice to get your team rolling. All right, let's see what we can find here. So you got Dak, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Robinson, AJ Brown. So you've been hit with a little bit of injuries here, it looks like. DJ Moore, Dalton Kincaid, Jaden Reed, Rachaad White. Rachaad White's probably fine this week. Jaden Reed's I would put in Brian Thomas over AJ Brown because AJ Brown's likely not going to play. Running backs are fine. Flexes are okay. You kind of got to stick with what you have right now because none of the quarterbacks I think you can sell for anything like super sexy. Like no one really wants Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're talking fantasy value, people want mobile guys. I wouldn't tear off the tight end because I think that's going to give you positional advantage. I would consider selling out of Rachaad White if he has a big game here because I do think it is very possible he does. Because I think the Eagles are genuinely live to get upset this weekend. And if that happens, like I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rachaad White surprise us a little bit because Bucky Irving I do think will be a little bit more limited, but we will see. Jaden Reed, I don't mind with Jordan Love. I just think this is going to be a bad game for him to come back into if he does. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been waiting on White to have a big game, but we will see if we can. Can't really do that with Gibbs. Yeah, none of these guys are sell highs, unfortunately. So you're kind of just stuck playing this week and seeing how the cards play out. But overall, it's a fine team. I would take Roshan Johnson off of waivers if I could over Gus Edwards. I would drop Justin Herbert because you don't need him. Who else is somebody you could take out as an up? I would go grab like an Eric All and see if you can find just like the next big tight end prospect or whatever, and try to find a way to just get usage that other people aren't expecting, essentially, to try to build this team further. Maybe Jahan Dotson. I don't know. I probably would have touched Jahan Dotson with a 10-foot pole, but that's just me.
Would you trade Chuba and Pacheco for BRJ? Yeah, I probably would. What about you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, just because Jonathan Brooks will be a thing soon enough.
Yeah.
And I don't think Pacheco is coming back this year. All right. Moving forward in the next squad here, we got Cameron, Tyreek, and Mason for Bijan. Keep Tyreek and Mason. Then Jacobs would reflex. That's fine. I mean, it's just a super strong squad, man. Like, sometimes it's just better to hold all the cards. Like, it's not a bad thing to do that, you know? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. I like the squad a lot. I'd get another tight end in case Kittle doesn't play this week for some reason. Yeah, really strong squad. Like, it's not bad to block your league mates out from the best plays. It's part of this game as well. It's like if they're able to hit a lower floor consistently because you have all the best players, I don't mind that. You're just blocking out your teammates or league mates. All right, on the next one, Rockies Revenge, PBR, tight end premium. Got a few offers. Henry, Chuba, Brooks, or Brees is a big one. Henry, Chuba, and Brooks. Or Brees. I mean, it's not bad because it's like you're getting both sides of the coin with Chuba and Brooks. You get Henry, but he's a sell high. I'd probably keep Brees. Carr's not going to be worth anything going forward. You don't have Olave. I would just see like what he would do for cheaper for Chuba and Brooks. Should he drop Gus for Roshan even though you have Swift? Yes, I would grab Roshan. That way you have both sides of that coin because if one of them does ultimately end up popping for the Bears and leads as like a kind of bell cow back of some variety and does well, people might be feeding for that. Like they might be like, oh my God, the Caleb Williams breakout is finally here. You know what I mean?
Pick up Roshan.
So that gives you a lot more upside there. If McBride is out, is Schultz or all the play? Schultz is probably the much better play between those two options, Bobby. But yeah, I like the squad a lot. I wouldn't do that trade just because I'm not a big Derrick Henry guy. Chuba and Brooks are fine, but like value wise, I do think that Henry side is technically winning. But we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, that's really all I have for this squad. In theory, you want more consistent receiving volume outside of Diggs, Odunze, and Reed, but only time will kind of give you that. I do think Odunze is going to continue to get the better chemistry with Caleb as the season progressing because we are live on YouTube here, Carter. That's why there's only 17 people in the chat, and we are going through the YouTube teams. Trying to give them their attention there. Let's see here. Kyler Murray, Gibbs, Mason, Chase, DJ Moore, Brock Bowers, Deontay Johnson as a 10-man. Yeah, really strong team for a 10-man PPR, man. Not much to be said. If anything, like try to tier up your backup running back, Mason, just for the end of the season because McCaffrey, I do believe, will be back. But yeah, not really much to be said here. Another really, really strong team. You got a lot of great options on the bench. Like you have Josh Jacobs even. Yeah, congratulations, man. All right, let's see here. King Miles. All right. AR 14-man league. That's what you're working with. Any advice or help or good thing you should make? You have Cam Akers. You have James Conner. You have Bucky Irving. So I'd move Cam Akers in over Bucky Irving, and then I would move. I would tier off of Jaden Daniels with this squad. Just because your receivers are cracked, you have some fun running back pieces, but you need something more consistent than trying to fling around just pieces together. You have Justin Fields, who I think isn't due for a pop week. So I would encourage you to tier off of Jaden Daniels. Go get a really strong running back for like super cheap. I'd add in Cam Akers if he has a pop week here. I'd grab Xavier Legette off of waivers. I think he's more enticing than Mingo personally. Let's see here. I would consider starting Jalen Tolbert tonight, I guess, or Greg Dortch or Michael Wilson if I could in a more deep league. But overall, I think this is fine. I would just tear off of Peyton Daniels. I keep James Conner. I try to build up a more consistent, strong running back too. And I guess I would try to build up my flex spot if I could. Because the problem is you have great pieces on this team. You just don't have consistency, which is ultimately what you need. Unfortunately, Les Pacheco and Brooks will come with time. But yeah, I would just tear off of Jaden Daniels. That can help me build this team better. And I'd probably put Cordy P in over Jonathan Mingo. All right, let's see here. All right, for Sakura, 12-man, happy we are 0-3 after losing to Kamara 2 weeks ago and Jennings last week. Painful. Kyler Murray, Josh Jacobs, Bijan Robinson, Godwin, Rice, McBride, Johnson. Yeah, I keep the starts as they are. I put Ertz in over McBride, and that's all you can do, man. I like the squad. I really wouldn't change much about it. Big fan of it. I keep going with it. No problem. This is your team. You don't know if let's see here. I think I might have clicked past it, or is it this one? Play Jacobs or Deontay for flex. Okay. And then who would you be putting in over Mike Griffin? No,
I think you got to play Jacobs. You got to play both.
You got to play both. Like I don't know who you'd be putting. I wouldn't be putting down
JSN, I guess. I don't know, but I think the way you have it lined up right now makes
this is
sense.
perfect. This is how I do it. All right, on to the next squad here. All right, 10-man PPR 6-point QB TD league. Yeah, I think the squad's fine here. Just kind of looking at it off the rip, I'd rock with this for the most part. Cam Akers, I think, is going to hold more value than Michael Pittman right now because anytime the ball goes Michael Pittman's direction, it's just being chucked 10 million miles an hour. I like the squad. You just need more consistency at the flex, which is just going to come from realistically you trying to trade pieces around. I wouldn't really encourage trading away Josh Allen. I think your usage is really fine across the board. Najee apparently projects extremely well this week. So he might be a sell high for when Jaylen Warren comes back after this week. But overall, really, really, really like the squad here. Very deep in terms of how many pieces you have. But you're going to say something, Grant?
No.
Okay.
Agreed.
Like it. Moving on. All right. Geno Smith, Devin Singletary, Kyren Williams, Devonta Smith, Amon St. Brown, Evan Ingram, Alvin Kamara. All right. And on the bench, we have Addison, Dell, Henry, Irving, McLaurin, J-Lo. All right. I like the squad. I think Singletary, especially if he pops tonight, like this could be a really good spot for where we get like a really big Singletary game, right? And if we get a really big Singletary game, I think it could be worth kind of selling. Thank you for taking the time. No problem, Jesus. Happy to help you. Let's see here. But yeah, I really, really like the squad here for the most part. But like, I do think Singletary could be a fun sell high candidate, especially with Alvin Kamara. But yeah, like the squad, you're going to need a fill-in for tight end this week. Hunter Henry will probably be fine for you. Yeah, strong squad here. You're just battling a very big injury bug, so you're going to have to make some decisions. Scary Terry's going to have to go in for you. And then I would consider selling out of Kamara to try to get to
your mic's
cutting in and out again.
again.
Dallas defense or Saints Detroit defense. I want to say Atlanta's the one with the majority of the offensive line injuries, so I do think that their Saints defense is enticing there. Let's see here.
Would you guys do Pickens, JSN, or Shaheed at flex this week?
I'd go with Pickens. I really like Pickens. I was being a psychopath the other day and looking. I realized that scrolling too much is probably not wise. But I was like, you know what? Let's build a really weird one. Let's build Anthony Richardson, Pickens, and Alec Pierce. So we will see how that works.
Cold.
That is cold.
Lamar Jackson, Kyren Williams, Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Kelsey. Yeah, strong EDP 445. That's a crazy name. Yeah, strong squad here, man. I don't have anything to say about it. Like, these are all pieces I love. I'd really like the squad if I were you. If anything, maybe like try to trade up off of Zach Moss, but he's in what's supposed to be a really, really good spot this week. So, like Zach Moss, like the squad overall. Well done. Let's see here. All right. Xandus and a 12-man half PPR. We got Kyler, Jordan Mason, Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Trey McBride, Chris Godwin, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, so as we've continuously said here, you're going to have to put Komet in over Trey McBride. Mason's a fun guy for the next 6 weeks here. Superflex to T-Law just hasn't been good for you. He's kind of in a fine matchup here, though. Yeah, I like the squad, man. Like, this is just really, really strong. In theory, like, you can try to tier up your quarterback for this squad, but I kind of like how you can rotate with the pieces you have depending upon the matchup. That's just my 2 cents, Sandus. I like the squad overall, though. Not much I would change, honestly. All right, let's see here. Dak, Cook, Mason, Godwin, Lamb, Fant, Michael Wilson, and the flex. Anybody else we'd like over Michael Wilson? I'd take Cam Akers for the more safer points here. I like Michael Wilson for upside, but like we do want to point you a little bit more towards safety where we can.
Pierce too, it's the same thing. If he
if he ends up playing, then I'd put him in, but I don't think he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the squad a lot. You've done all the correct things. Really strong.
I guess you're probably gonna have to tier up that flex spot eventually. Maybe I don't know if you could just hit waivers hard or something like that, because once McCaffrey comes back, Mason's kind of irrelevant. So then you just have to find somebody that can consistently go in there. Like this Houston running back situation is not gonna last forever. So, yeah.
Maybe find some who will take CMC out their hands.
Yeah, facts. I don't know. I feel like the 2 players that you can literally get for pennies on the dollar right now, because people just like. It's fascinating how every single year, just like the fantasy community continues to get quicker and quicker to their overreactions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Mark Andrews, you can probably get for nothing right now. Same thing with HN. Like people are just going to be like, Someone offered you Zamir White and Laporta for CMC. You don't like it at all, but no one's sending anything better. What do you think? I'd rather keep CMC. Zamir White's not going to be anything, man, unfortunately. Like Alexander Madison's getting all the short yardage work right now. Like, it just is what it is. Laporta is fun for positional advantage, but he's not a focus of that offense at all. So we will see how the Raiders do after this week. Who knows? Maybe they change our mind. Zamir White goes for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to go with no.
I don't know, man. It could happen.
It could happen.
Probably not, but it could.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, don't let him don't have him have you gag on it, man. Like you don't need to be gagging. You're good. Just take it out. You'll be fine. Kyler Murray, Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin, Achon, Jacobs, Powers, Metcalf. Yeah, really strong squad here, Jay. Like it's more than fine. This is a good squad. I would consider. I don't even know what I would do, honestly, man. Like, you have too many good options here. Like, maybe, like, try to get Bijan on the squad, too. But, like, this is really, really strong, Jay. Nothing really to be said here.
Yeah, crazy good team.
I like it a lot. Sorry, Peekaboo. Went a little too crazy with that one. Moving on. Lamar Jackson, Kyron, Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Kelsey. Yeah, really, really strong squad here. Yeah, not much to be said. I like it a lot. Let's see here. Then last one for Jay here. Jared Goff, Mason, White, Adams, J-Mo, Fant, Odunze. Let's see here. Yeah, I like this squad a lot, man. Like, really strong, but you do need to improve your running back specifically because even though Bucky is, like, somebody we like in the long term, it's just not, like, guaranteed. Yeah, I think Cam Akers worth starting over Reed this week. But, like, I don't see this running back being, like, the room that you want to dominate. AJ Brown, unfortunately, is going to be out. Same with Devonta Smith. So you got a little bit banged up with receivers. That sucks. Charlotte, yeah, you've just been hammered with injuries, man. This sucks for you. But I would just be trying to build up your running backs further and further. I think it's fine to take a down week this week if needed, but I would be trying to continuously build up these running backs as much as possible. Your receivers will come back in due time. All right, I think we actually have one more squad here, it looks like.
We might have a buzzer beater.
Might have a buzzer beater. All right. So if you haven't already, then I encourage you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us here every single day as we go through these teams. Hopefully the information we provide to you is rather helpful and helps you guys with your favorite prediction strike investments or just helps with your redraft leagues. Try to help you on both. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a buzzer beater in here. And if not, we'll see what happens.
Yep, we're getting one.
Awesome. James Cook or Deontay Johnson? James Cook for the safety and kind of how the metrics are looking right now. I do love Deontay Johnson more in a PPR format. Kelsey or Pitts? I'm going with Pitts this week. I won't lie to you. I like Pitts. All right. So last squad here, we got Anthony Richardson, King Henry, Cam Akers, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Lockett. I would go with Najee and Achon, honestly. I don't mind London, but I have concerns about Atlanta this week. No problem, Zandis. You got Lockett in the flex. You got Mostert. This must be like a 14-man. Yeah, I don't mind it. I'd just be trying to sell out of Lockett. You can't sell high on Richardson right now. He needs to have that pop game or two. If he has those, then you can cheer off of him. I would try to sell out of Derrick Henry in this spot. I think you can pull that off, especially with Cam Akers there, and build up your running back to something that's hopefully going to be a bit more consistent. Because that's the biggest thing that this squad specifically lacks here. It is overall consistency. I don't know if you got hit with like a big injury bug at some point and decided to trade out of it or what you did. But there. That has him his own 3. Right on. I wouldn't really focus so much on the quarterback. I would be trying to buy pennies on the dollar for other positions. So it's like Dallas Goedert honestly has a lot of value right now because the Devonta Smith and AJ Brown owners are going to be like, well, he's just fully guaranteed to go to Goedert, right? Yeah, it could be. Or you could sell off of him and try to get like some really cheap value. So you can get like Mark Andrews for completely nothing, who I hate for what it's worth. And I don't know, people are willing to like take it, like running back as well. But these are the kind of areas you want to be targeting, is these very small samples where it's been a like complete lack of production from what we're seeing, but like they could just be, it's too small of a sample and he could just go nuclear. You know what I mean? ADB tends to be more predictive than not, so I don't want to be fading him. But overall, this squad needs more consistency. So you need to be selling out of like Henry and Akers, in my opinion, to build up this running back room to be something more consistent for the future, because this is not consistency. But shout out for keeping CEH out of your IR for his return. But yeah, that's really about it for this team review section. We will be posting some of our favorite plays on Prediction Strike on here later today ahead of the game if you guys want to check those out. Tiers were posted yesterday. UFC knowledge was dropped on it yesterday just as well. And we'll have more and more stuff out. I'll be live right before lock to go through my favorite plays. I think I might be a Brandon Aubrey slappy today, but we will see. But yeah, appreciate the likes and follows, everyone. It does mean a lot. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, appreciate y'all and talk to y'all later. Peace now.
Peace.